all kinds of them in there. Tons of them. Those are the Roma. And these are the cherry tomatoes going crazy. And there's a cucumber too. There's 2 cucumbers I gotta harvest. All of these tomatoes starting to go crazy. Feeding with green leaf mega crop. They're loving it. Not bad. Not bad at all. Oh, out of breath as usual. July 13th, 2020. Finally cutting that wood pile up. Try to get it bucked up and then split into firewood. Made this sawbuck yesterday. Had a 2x6s. The thing weighs a ton, but it's pretty sturdy. I needed to make something that was going to be real sturdy because that saw has so much bite to it that it tosses things around a lot when you're trying to saw. You really got to have something holding onto it. Starting to get some major wood processed with this katana boy. Almost finished with the 2nd tier. Shining in the sun. Look at that thing. Got this next log. I don't know. It's like more than 6 inches. And we got to strap it down because this katana boy has so much bite that it'll spin the log while you're trying to cut it. So I just strap it down real tight with a strap, and that kind of keeps that from happening. When you're working in the forest with it, you really can't cut like small thinner things with it because it'll just spin, and it's just not made for that. But larger stuff, like stuff this big, if it's on the ground and it has like friction from the ground touching the whole thing, then it won't spin. But when it's on my sawbuck here, it'll spin in those 4-foot sections. So I just strap her down. But I got a lot of wood there. There's a whole cord behind the car over there. So definitely process a lot of wood. It's taken a lot of time, but I haven't really been doing more than a couple hours a day, and I only do it like 4 days a week. And I'm getting wood. There was like a month too where I didn't cut any wood when it was really hot. But yeah, it's only July, so I should be able to get the 3.5-4 cords I need with this. And then I will have done all of my wood by hand. But I'm also going to order 2 cords at some point once I have a little extra cash here. And then they'll drop it off at the driveway all seasoned, and then I'll put that away. Plus throughout the winter I'll take the sled out and the katana boy, and we'll cut some of the dry standing stuff I have around the property every winter. There's, you know, a couple trees I gotta take down because they're gonna fall down anyways, and I want to get the wood while it's dry and off the ground. But yeah, up at the cabin, just cutting wood. Katana boy 650. Shout out to Nate over at Canadian Prepper and CanadianPreparedness.com. So that's where I got this thing from. Thanks, man. You were right. This thing works great. Now that I've been cutting the grass behind the greenhouse, Bun loves it so much. Like all the clovers are growing up now. And all this stuff that Bun loves. Bun. Snowshoe hare. Kind of skittish right now. Bun. Collecting wild white daisy seeds right now because they're starting to die back. I still have the really nice yellow ones out there. I'm gonna collect seeds from those too, but the seeds aren't done. But these daisies have some seeds that are ready, so I'm gonna collect them. Actually, I'm only a really small little handful of flowers. Like, I'll probably collect a whole mason jar full of those in like 20 minutes. But I am getting ready to sell the property, the survival property in Brownfield. I've actually sold it. It's in closing right now, and they should be sending me the paperwork to sign because I think title search and everything is done. So it's a bummer to get rid of that property, but I just don't want to do the kind of work that needs to be done on the road there to get it going. Like if I was going to put money into a property, I would buy another large one up north like this. It is nice that that's only an hour away from where my family lives. Would have been a good place for a camp for my family to visit, but for me, I mainly live up here now, so I want to get some properties around here, and the money from the survival camp, I'll be able to pay off some debt that I had on this property with my mother, and then maybe we'll build another building. We're definitely going to build a shed behind the cabin, but maybe we'll have enough money left over that we can build another small cabin up further on the property, so I have a place to hang out back there. But yeah, crazy. That first survival property, the first place we bought for the YouTube channel, is someone else's, and there's a bunch of stuff I have hidden on the property buried that I'm going to give him. He doesn't know about that. I gave him the canoe and I gave him the platform, you know, the platform that we put up for the canvas tent. But he doesn't know that I have a couple things buried on the property that I'm going to give him. He just has to go and find them and dig them up. And that should be fun for him, you know. One of them has like a knife in it, and then the other one has a bunch of survival cash and including a nice recurve bow. So I don't know, it's been buried for 4 years. It might be ruined, but if it's not ruined, it's going to be some pretty sweet stuff. He should be pretty excited. The knife that's in there, I have an Air Force survival knife, model 499. I have one of those buried out there, so he'll definitely like that. That's going to be great. Look at this guy, completely full of my blood. He's so full he can't even walk up the window. He can barely fly. Or she. I'll squish her so she doesn't have any mutant babies with my DNA. Oh, got some delicious broths going. Pretty nice day out there. It was like a hurricane last night, basically. It was so crazy. I saw all the trees bending down all of a sudden, and I was worried about my greenhouse and a couple other things, so I went and walked out back, and by the time I made it out back, it was raining harder than I've ever been in. Hardest rain I've ever been in, and everything was blowing sideways like crazy. I have the canvas tent set up, so that thing was blowing all over the place, and I was hiding in the shed watching the whole thing, trying to stay out of the rain. And luckily it didn't blow the greenhouse or the canvas tent away. But yesterday I sold the survival property in Brownfield. So the first property that I was on when I first started this channel, I sold. It was a nice property and I would have just kept it, but the driveway needed a lot of work, and I figured that somebody else would put the work into the driveway and maybe get more use out of it than I was. Because as of right now, I was not going to put money into that driveway. All my money's going into this property. But that frees up a little cash, makes it a little bit easier, gives me a little bit more options, and gives me some money to build a shed. So in the next couple weeks, we're going to build a shed here to have behind the cabin here. Because I never ended up building a shed right behind this cabin, and I need one so I can store stuff. This cabin's too small to not have a shed right behind it. So we'll build a shed and try to not waste all this money, but I need to get a lawnmower and I need to get a weed whacker. And yeah, some more solar. We're going to get some more solar stuff. Because right now I have a solar battery. It's been working out really good. Everything's been running off of the solar, but I'm going to get, I have a panel that isn't really made to stay outside. So I'm going to get 2 panels that will stay outside all the time that are weatherproof, and then I'll run a cord in here, and then I'll have solar power that I don't even have to set up every day. It's time to do that. 2 days ago, it's been a whole year, and I'm about to order the new solar panels, and 2 days ago it started downpouring when I was like a far jog away from where the solar panel and the battery was set up. So I had to run as fast as I could, get the solar panel and the battery out of the rain. It was downpouring. The battery didn't get wet, but the solar panel got soaked. and it's not really supposed to get wet, the kind of panel I have, but it didn't ruin it, luckily. But yeah, we're gonna get some more solar panel, and we're gonna get some more solar power, and we're gonna get a water tank and a deep well pump that will pump the water up from where we're getting water, and that's all gonna be solar powered too. So I'll bring you guys back once I finally get that stuff in the mail and we set it up. So-called goat trail. The tragedy, it's August 1st and I haven't had to come down here in 3 days because we've got a lot of rain lately, so the rain barrels have all been full and I've been able to do everything with those. But I just came to collect some bathing water from the well, and right there is where the spring is flowing usually, and this is all usually wet, and you can see it's drying up, and it only rained yesterday. So we'll see what the water level is in there, but it means the water level has started to go down further than right there, at least, you know, where ground level is right here. So I don't know, it's been a really dry year, but it's been raining the last couple weeks a lot, so I don't know, we'll see how fast this goes down. At the end of last year I had about, I don't know, 8 to 10 inches in it still, and we'll see. Yeah, so that's basically at the line, and look, it's flowing again, which means the hydraulic pressure that just is from coming down the hill, from the water coming down the hill, it makes the water level in the barrel just a little bit higher than ground level. So it's just at ground level right now, which is, you know, that's not bad. That's where we would expect it to be. But we'll see over the next couple weeks how low that goes. I definitely need it to have water in there until at least middle of September. So hopefully it does. We'll see. It's definitely started going down though. Well, August 4th is burning some debris, some old boxes. Got the canvas tent up, and I'm not staying in it very much. I'm still down in the cabin most of the time. It's mostly for when people come up, but it is August 4th, 2020, and this is apparently some sort of crazy tropical storm coming up right now. And it's gonna come up through the coast of Maine and then come up right through the center of Maine, I guess. So it's supposed to just be mostly heavy rain here, but on the coast it's gonna be crazy coastal winds. But I'm not sure if the winds are gonna get so crazy here that it's gonna screw up the canvas tent. So I'm getting kind of worried about that. But I just don't want to take it down right now. I really don't want to take it down all by myself right now. It'd be a real pain in the butt. But I don't know, maybe I should take it down for a couple days while the storm goes through. But I don't know, I'll bring you guys back, see how windy it gets later, and see if it was a bad idea keeping it up if I do. Well, this is the second stand of chanterelles I've found on the property. This is right by the driveway. If you go through the thicket there, there's a lot of them here. There's a lot of them. That's a really nice one right there. It's like perfect shape and size. It doesn't look like anything's been eaten on them either. I mean, some of the bigger, older ones have some slug damage, but these fresh ones look like they're pretty new. Probably pick a couple of these and throw them in the beef tonight. But this is nice. This is a nice stand of them, and I have another spot that came up a couple weeks ago. So it's nice. Maybe these will be kind of staggered from each other. If I can get 2 or 3 crops out of this area and 2 or 3 out of the other area, that's some pretty good golden chanterelles. I'm gonna go pick that one right there. That's a good one. That one right there. It's so perfect. This garden looks pretty cool. First sunflower opened up. Saw a hummingbird at it earlier today, which is pretty awesome. This one freaking pumpkin plant is just huge. It's taking up like, I don't know, it's like a 30 by 30 space. That sunflower looks nice. The corn is coming along. It looks like the Native American popping corn is going to drop pollen before the sweet corn even puts out its little catchers. So hopefully they're not going to get cross-pollinated. I think that one will pollinate first, and then it'll probably finish up right when this one is starting to pollinate. So hopefully that popcorn won't be affected by the sweet corn, and hopefully the sweet corn will actually come out sweet. Because it might not if it gets cross-pollinated. But man, that cabin in the background, or this beautiful garden right here, so nice. I had green beans over there too, and I need to harvest them. There's like piles of them. Going pretty good. August 6th. Just out here in the yard, taking care of stuff. I haven't had to water this for a couple weeks, so that's nice. The weather's been really crappy, which has been pretty rough, but the one good thing about crappy weather is at least I don't have to water the garden. And it is producing vegetables. Up at the other garden patch, I have these giant butternut squash, which is my favorite. I'm gonna go cut one of those today. I'll probably eat that tonight for dinner. Yeah, just trucking along, making it through the summer. This garden looks sweet though. August 6th still. Look at that butternut squash. This is really early in the year for these things. They usually come out later. This one plant is producing them early. That thing is putting on tons of tomatoes, Roma and cherry tomatoes. Green beans are not doing anything. They have flowers on them though. Kale is still blowing up, and the cauliflower is not doing anything still. I don't know why. But this thing is going to be delicious. I have a pork tenderloin marinated. I'm going to fry that up. Look at this crazy little bastard. Oh, flipped over. The wind's blowing. He's a weird little bastard. Wonder where he's going. Think he knows? Probably not. He's about to conquer this forest of grass. Oh no, there's ants. Squeeze under there. He was one of the weirdest looking bastards I've ever seen. It's like pink tie-dyed. See you later, little guy. Good luck out there. The wind is getting the best of you. It's August 8th. These potatoes are looking pretty rough. So I figured I'd pull some up. Last time I pulled some up, there were nothing in here. But there are some red potatoes in there. The red Pontiacs. So all the plants that are having a hard time that aren't really getting good water right here, I might pull those up and harvest those and let the rest go a little while. But that one's pretty big, so this probably pretty much done. I could probably pull them all up. Super psyched. Got lots of tomatoes over there. The birds are just over there eating some of them, so I have to go in and pull all the ones that are red off, or they'll keep eating them. But yeah, haven't had to do much in this garden, kind of just left it to go wild, and it's still producing some good stuff. I ate a butternut squash the other day that was amazing, and there's another one in there that was really good. Haven't been going to the store a lot, so I've been eating a lot of canned vegetables with dinner, so having fresh potatoes and squash is awesome. Well, I'm gonna harvest some more of these. Well, that's from that first plant. That's pretty good. Look at how huge that potato is. I was worried these potatoes weren't gonna produce because the first one I pulled up was not good. That was like a month and a half ago. So this one was definitely already pretty good a month and a half ago. Probably the size of those little ones. But that's pretty good. I only put a wedge of potato. We even cut the seed potatoes we even cut up this year, which we didn't do the previous year. So that's a pretty good harvest for like a quarter of a potato. I only put 8 pounds of seed potato in this whole garden. And that's gotta be like, I don't know, 3.5, 4 pounds of potatoes. 3 pounds, no, I mean, probably 2.5, 3 pounds. So that's pretty good. If all of them have that much, we're gonna have like 80 pounds in here. I'll pull a couple more up. I'll eat some potatoes this week. This is what I like the red potatoes for. Make french fries, basically. Red potatoes really make some of the best french fries. Put some Parmesan cheese and garlic on them. Perfect. These potatoes are going to be great over the next couple days. Alright, August 12th, 2020. Crazy year so far. I'm just unboxing this brand new solar panel. So that's the company. There's a little logo there. 100-watt solar panel. Comes with a box and attachments of male and female. 100 watts, compact. It should put out just as much power as that RockPal folding one we've been using, but that RockPal unit that folds up is not supposed to be in the rain. It's not supposed to be exposed to the weather, so you can imagine I have to put it out every single time I want to use it, and if it starts raining, I have to make sure that I'm on top of getting it out of the rain. And I've had it for a whole year. It's been working great. I'm about to do a review on it. But I had already ordered this one too, and then it started downpouring a couple days ago, and my other solar panel got all wet. And after it dried out, it didn't affect it at all. But yeah, it's a pain in the butt dealing with a panel that can't be left out in the weather. So here we are, testing out this new 100-watt Renogy. I think that's maybe how you say it, Renogy. Amazon, I got it for $93. I think it came out to like $103 with tax, free shipping with Prime. So we're gonna hook it up to the Chaffron battery pack and see if it charges that, just to make sure it works. And then over the next couple weeks we'll get a couple more batteries and a controller and try to hook. Oh, there she is, leaned up against the log with the Chaffron hooked up to it and the special connector that came with the battery plugged right in. This thing is scorching hot. Let's see how much it's charged. It was at 50%, so it's at 64 now. 65, 64. And it's been like, I don't know, probably about an hour. Almost an hour. So I don't know, that seems, I don't know, kind of about right. Usually takes 4 or 5 hours to charge that thing from 20% all the way to 100 with the Rock Pal. So we'll see. We have good sun right now, so that should be fully charged by 2 o'clock. If it isn't, then that thing is definitely not performing as well as the Rock Pal. But it should be, so we'll see. It's actually high efficiency too, so but 100 watts is 100 watts, so if it's actually pulling 100 watts in full sun, it should be as powerful as that other one. We'll see. But I gotta think about a battery pack that's a little bit bigger than that, or I have to get a controller, an inverter, and a bunch of batteries, but that would be pretty expensive. And it is a lot easier if you just have a battery pack that has an inverter on it. But usually those battery packs don't have lots and lots of power, you know. So I have to think about what my plan is, but I'd like to get as much power out of these panels I'm getting as possible, so I can at least run a fan. And you know, the dream is to be able to run an AC for the hottest times of the day eventually. So I pretty much need 1,000 watts. My cabin's really small, so if I had a really small AC and 1,000 watts of panels and an inverter, I'd probably be able to do that eventually. And that would be really nice. And it's really humid to be able to run an AC. Would be sweet. That'd be life-changing. Alright, well, we'll leave it. Look at that cucumber climbing up the porch. It's got major cucumbers going on it. Well, I haven't been making many videos lately. Just been out here in the woods. It's mid-August right now. The well is almost dried up. I'm barely getting enough water to take care of the few things that still need water every day. Getting firewood chopped up. That's still going. Some on the buck horse right there. So just chipping away at all that, but other than that, things have been pretty uneventful. Been a slow, quiet summer, a really dry summer, a drought summer for sure. But the garden has been producing some stuff, and I haven't been hauling too much water to it. But I have been having problems with mice. They're really bad this year. I'm not sure why. They get into the tomatoes, so they probably have plenty of food since I have so many gardens going around here with food in it. They probably just have lots of food, which they usually don't out here, so that's probably why I have a lot of mice. But there's a lot of them. There's like 6 of them in the shed when I went in there this morning. And I have my Gammo Viper Express pellet gun, 22 caliber pellet gun with the shotgun shells in it. So I've been blasting them with that and trying to take care of it that way. But they're just so bad. They've taken over my car. There's like 30 of them living in my car, and I've managed to kill a lot of those, but I just can't get them all. There's still some living in the car, and they ruin the whole ventilation system. So I'm like spending the next couple days killing them, and then once I think I'm really done getting them all, then I'm gonna have to pull the whole ventilation system in my 2009 Ford Escape apart and clean that all out, because when you turn the vents on, all you smell is mouse poop and urine. So yeah, I'm at war with the mice. It's been pretty rough. Been a crazy summer altogether, 2020, so it's pretty crazy out here, as everybody knows. It's pretty calm out here, but the world is pretty crazy. But of course, the mice and the lack of water have been making it pretty hard on me this year. Yeah, so anyways, I'm going to go back to trying to massacre all these mice and get that under control. Look at all these tomatoes I harvested today. That giant butternut squash. I already ate one from that same plant. It was so good. I'm going to give some of these tomatoes away though. I don't have a blender to make salsa or a refrigerator to keep it in, so could maybe jar some up. We'll see. Alright, second run of potatoes. It's like August 14th. Just pulled a bunch more out of here. They're pretty good. I'm trying to get them out though, because at least the potatoes that are near the surface are getting some bug damage. You gotta cut a lot of that out. So I'm gonna pull these up and store some of them in a way with the last couple months and then give the rest away to neighbors. But these Pontiac Reds did pretty good. I'd say out of the 8 pounds that I planted, I probably got about 50 something pounds back. Maybe 60. Not bad. This is a drought year too, so if it had rained, it would, I mean, these would have gone another month, but it's so dry right now, they're just not doing well, so get them out of the ground. These guys are like Mission Impossible. Doodaloo, doodaloo, doodaloo. Won't focus in on him though. Like they come from out of nowhere. Like he just suddenly started lowering from this tree. You look just like Tom Cruise, buddy, when you do that. It's a compliment. Oh, got the generator going over here. This zucchini plant, I dumped a seed tray that didn't come up this spring, that froze out, and then it popped up in this pile. So that and this icebox watermelon, both of those just popped up in that pile, which is like kind of a compost pile. And those have been going good. They've been producing. See, there's a nice big watermelon there. But these have been my cherry tomatoes, which I trained all the way up this trellis and then let it spread out at the top. And that thing is producing, I mean, handfuls of tomatoes every day. And then this one, this is the Roma, and there's 4 separate plants in there, and I trained them, cutting all the branches off until it got up to here, and then I let it branch out. But this thing is just producing tons and tons of tomatoes. And once I get those off, these ones will swell up top. Looks like we're gonna get a couple really good runs of tomatoes, but I'm thinking next year I'm gonna do like 20 or 30 gallon pots like this. Trellis just like this, just a straight trellis up. Do like 20 or 30 of those next year for market. Because I definitely produced a lot of good tomatoes there. Those Roma tomatoes too grow really well, and it's a good sized tomato, and they stay hard for a long time. If you harvest them right when they start turning, you've got like a couple weeks to eat them. So I really like that tomato. So I'm probably gonna do a bunch of those because that was really easy to take care of. I'd say 20 of those would probably only take about, they take about a gallon a piece a day in water. So like 20 gallons a day, I could run 20 of those tomatoes and I should be able to produce hundreds of pounds of tomatoes. Pretty nice. Fall is coming though. It's August 16th today. Trees haven't started turning. We still have another like 3 weeks before that starts. But the nights of getting cold now, no more warm nights. Starting to change over, and it's been really dry and really nice out the last couple weeks, but some of this fall weather is starting to move in. Got a lot of work to do getting everything ready for winter still. Early morning grouse on the driveway. I was trying to speak some grouse to him. These ones have been hanging out since they were babies, and I've seen them a bunch of times when they were babies. So they're pretty used to me. See, they just go back to eating once they realize I'm not trying to mess with them. When they were babies, I chased them up into a tree, but then I just took pictures of them, so I think they don't think I'm gonna hurt them. which I'm not, because they're actually spruce grouse, I think. I have to get the book out, but the color pattern on them look like a spruce grouse. I don't see the red above their eye though. Maybe they are rough grouse. I'm not sure. Maybe their feathers change over the next couple months as they mature. Yeah, guy. It's okay. I'm not gonna hurt you, buddy. There's a male and a female though. There's 2 males and a female. The females are really hard to see. Like, the females look just like a rough grouse. This one right here, she looks just like a rough grouse. It's pretty hard to tell. Tail feathers are different though. But this is a male. It's quite a bit darker. Got more of that black color. Which a rough grouse male is a lot lighter brown. And the end feathers look a lot different. They make these little noises like a guinea pig. They're so awesome. Oh, they're in the driveway every day pretty much. They're used to me. And the spruce grouses, so we're not going to shoot them this year, so next year I'll probably have 20 of them in the driveway. They're not very good to eat. The neighbors said you're not supposed to shoot them because they're protected here. The neighbors said they just taste like spruce. But still, they're good. They're good to have in the yard. They eat ticks and eat bugs. And if an emergency came and you had to eat one, they don't really move very fast. As you can see, I could walk right up to these things. Like a rough grouse, you can't get this close to. A rough grouse will get out of there, but these are supposed to be endangered. It's supposed to be hard to find in Maine. Man, I've got a lot of these birds on my property. So I think not hunting them the last 30 years has made their population grow back up. Oh, here comes another one. Can't really see it, but there's one right there too. Yeah, these were the babies. So 2.5 months ago, these things were just those little babies that we were looking at. Pretty birds, that's for sure. I got stuff to do though. 4 of them now. They're so used to me. It's like having a herd of chickens in the yard. Pretty awesome. Alright, I meant to bring you guys out when I was unboxing this thing, but I forgot. It came pretty much together except for that handle had to be put together. It's a Power Smart. I got it on Amazon. It was with a 3-year protection plan, which it came with 3-year protection plan, so apparently it's protected for 6 years. I highly doubt that, but with the protection plan, it was like $360, and before taxes and everything, it was listed for $299. Made in China. The company's called Amerisun. Yeah, I don't know. I figured it would have been American, but it wasn't. I originally ordered 149cc Craftsman, but UPS lost it in the mail last week. I don't know how you lose something that's 80 pounds in a box the size of a lawnmower, but they lost it and it's completely gone. I mean, I guess they haven't seen it in weeks, so who knows where it is. But just as well, Amazon refunded my money instantly, and I got this lawnmower for some reason the protection plan on this lawnmower was like $10 more, but everything else cost the same. So it was about $10 more to get this one, and this one is a 200cc and is a lot beefier. Like, this has a lot more power than the one I was gonna get. So I guess that getting lost in the mail was a good thing. It has a bagger that you can put on it, but I haven't cut this grass all summer, so it's gonna be nice and get all this cleaned up and get the camping area up here and the garden area cleaned up before winter comes. It's the end of August right now, 2020. So I gotta just put that 4-cycle 30 weight motor oil in there. 16.9 ounces is what it takes. And then I have some gas that I'm gonna actually put some stabilizer in and then fill this thing up. I'm gonna just run stabilizer. Since we're so close to winter, I'm just gonna run stabilizer in it, so at the end of everything I'll run it dry and it should be ready to be stored for the winter. And we'll store it in the shed. So I'm gonna get it fueled up and then maybe I'll bring you guys back for the first fire up. See how that goes. Well, I don't have the tripod with me, so I can't start this up with one hand. So it started right up. It was putting a little smoke off, but I think if I run it for a little while, hopefully that'll all burn off. Hopefully that's just stuff that's in the engine from the first time starting. Started right up first pull though. So I'm gonna cut some grass, cut that area over there, and cut this area over here where it's really high, and see what this thing can cut. Yeah, this thing's a total beast. And when you're on rough terrain, it has powered rear wheels, so you can pull that lever on the bottom and it will push it. You can see doing a good job. It's a beast. I'm glad I ended up with the 200cc model. I definitely need it with how rough this stuff is out here. A lot of small sapling trees coming up. This thing chews right through them. So I'm gonna try to bust out. This is camp 1 where the tent was set up last summer. Clear this out so when my family comes up this fall, they can set up their tents there and get this whole thing looking tidy. Start whacking some more trees down later in the season, and by next year we'll be mowing all this. Then I'll definitely need a riding lawnmower. But we'll be able to keep this roadway clear and keep the camp areas clear the rest of this fall. She's a beast. Get the lawn mowing. Well, I already have to fix something. I had to put a couple extra holes under here because I don't know if you see this. This little tab goes into here, and this tab's already broken. But I have pretty rough terrain here, so I was ripping this thing off. So I'm put a couple zip ties on it. Alright, there it is. A couple zip ties. Shouldn't go anywhere now. Thing's a beast though. Looks nice and clean back there. Psyched. First lawnmower I've ever owned. 35 years old, so I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I picked a beast. It's definitely heavy duty.